For several decades, I have been maintaining journals like this. Every page or two describes my experiences of that particular day. Every day. And from these journals is where I create my vlogs for you. From the archives of my life. All of them musings of an old maverick. Thank you so much for tuning in once again. And I was reading this particular one, which let me tell you is, I think, over 3 decades. And there was an entry here which very detailed out my frustrations as a young executive in business development, sales and marketing, so to speak. Now I'm talking about an era where we didn't have things like Google and the internet and Facebook and LinkedIn and all the social media handles you can work on. It was a very, very basic era, basic tools to work on and basic mindsets. And probably because of this particular entry talks about my challenges with leadership and how I overcame them. Leadership was a very major problem in those days because information was so limited and most team leaders would not like to get involved directly with all the challenges that the team would be getting into because most of the time they didn't have an answer. So life is very frustrating, especially when we were in sales and marketing because the entire organization depends upon you. No sales, no business. So let me get a little bit more in depth about this wonderful entry that I made and the 9 sledgehammering tips that I used to give team leaders when I eventually became one. So here I was, a young executive in the most stressful department called sales and marketing. Those years, no systems, basic information, and we had huge targets to achieve. And it was a very frustrating experience because the simple reason none of us had really effective bosses to work with who could listen to us, who could find solutions to our problems, who could strategically think and help us achieve our business targets. So we were left by and large alone till one fine day I inherited an amazing boss, an amazing team leader. And his mantra every morning before we could start our sales meetings was, shoot your problems to me. Let's find solutions. And that used to be so reassuring because we didn't have to have sleepless nights. We could just walk in the next morning knowing fully well that we are going to be heard. And that is an amazing feeling of confidence you get. He may not have always found the solutions, but at least he triggered us to think solutions of our challenges by ourselves. So when I finally became a team lead myself, I worked out 9 sledgehammering tips to help other team leaders learn how to effectively run their teams. And that is what I am going to read out from my journal entry over 3 decades ago. First of all, I always believe, don't just be a leader, be a transformational catalyst. Because everyone, every executive keeps changing with the ecosystem. And unless you as a leader is not a transformational leader who can transform them from what they were yesterday to what they are, to what they should become today and what they should also become tomorrow, you're not going to help groom and grow a team under you. The second most important tip is don't compromise on integrity. See, in my entire 4 decades, I have only 4 decades in the corporate world, I have only sacked 5 people. And that is purely based on integrity, cheating, being dishonest. If you compromise on integrity with even the best result-oriented executive, you will create a Pandora's box of politics. Keep your mindset straight when it comes to integrity. Then, of course, there is don't talk failure. This is my third most important tip. See, I've never believed in failure. I've believed in the fact that we only find ways that don't make things work. But that doesn't mean we don't find ways that do make things work. So nothing is a failure. It's just eventually finding the right way to do the things correctly. Period. Change is a constant. That's tip number 4. Every leader must understand change is a constant. And what most often happens is your team doesn't accept it. They will resist it. Don't nag at them. Help them to change along with times. Tip number 5. Don't keep telling them what to do. This is the worst thing any team leader can do. Don't tell them. They're intellectual people. They're not a bunch of retards. They know what to do. Give them that space and freedom to think and work. And you'll be surprised what they can eventually churn up. Tip number 6, yes. Be quick to praise. Appreciation is always done immediate. Keeps bonhomie alive, everybody very happy and satisfied. Don't delay appreciation. Don't wait for next week or the week after next. Appreciate now. Tip number 7. Listen, teams will be teams. Let them bunk at times. Let them do all the mischief. Hey, listen. Don't tell me you haven't bunked during school. And don't tell me that affected your overall academic records. So if you can do it then, why can't you do a bunk now? Why should it affect the bottom line? So let them. I firmly believe all work and no play will make Jack a terribly dull boy. Tip number 8. Always lend your shoulder to rest a tired head. And that is just not the ladies in your team, including the men. Even men can cry. Even the men can go through enormous amount of stress. Your entire team goes through stresses, just like you do as a team leader. You don't share your stress. You share their stress by keeping their heads on your broad, strong shoulders. And the 9th one, the final one, gratitude always pays rich dividends. I have experienced that. Let me give you a small example. Very interestingly, those days we used to be paid in the form of a check, not like today where it's all a money transfer to your account. And every month end or the first week of the month when all the salaries were dished out by the management, I would carry my check across to my team and sincerely thank them for paying me my salary. Because they always knew one principle of mine. My progress will always be my family's progress. And I instill that in my entire team. Everyone believed that their progress would be their family's progress. So we always are very grateful when we progress or when we got our basic earnings every month. I hope you enjoyed this vlog. 9 tips which helped me carve amazing teams. All those years that I lived in the, or worked in the corporate space, right from the foothills to the summit of the mountain. This is our Nair signing off. Hope you had a wonderful time this time with me in my vlog. I'm going to see you very soon with something very interesting. In the meantime, please do subscribe so that you remain connected with me all along, day after day, week after week, year after year. Till the next time I meet you, have a wonderful life, stay safe, and ciao for now.